Good morning, y'all. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Kiva Advancement iHeartRadio podcast. Listen, you can go ahead and share. You can even comment in the chat if you're up listening. Give me just a second while I share with my Facebook family. Okay, that is done. All right, so this morning I woke up and I realized something that I hadn't realized in a long time until yesterday, is that I have the advantage over everything that goes wrong or right in my life. And I want to tell you that you have the advantage too. You need advantage in your life. You have the advantage. If it doesn't fit, then you change the odds to be in your favor. When you know the pattern that your life has been in, you can change it. You have the advantage over you. Now listen, sometimes we feel like we have to accept certain things, and of course things are going to happen, but the more you know and grow, and the more you choose to learn and change the pattern behaviors that you have been taught over the years, whether it's through your environment, friends, co-workers, you learn things from people. You pick up on things. You pick up on attitudes like negatives and positives. Once you learn the bad parts that you have picked up on, guess what you can do? You can take those cards that life is giving you and restack them into your favor. Amen. So how do you restack them into your favor? Where you go back and examine the things that trigger you. What makes you go out and have a negative mindset? And, ask yourself, why is the dealer selling drugs? Why is the druggee smoking drugs? Why is the person who doesn't have a job homeless? You go back and you ask yourself these things, and you look at the patterns, the behaviors. You look at from which they come from. You even look at yourself and say, why am I still struggling in a relationship that I know is not good for me? Why are you in that relationship? Well, first of all, you go back and see the errors of your ways. Was it that whenever you first noticed that things wasn't going right, that you chose to stay in it anyhow? When you noticed that the person wasn't texting you back and kept ignoring you, that you chose to stay in that relationship anyhow? Listen, you have the advantage. Instead of staying in the low place, now that you know your pattern, get up and do something about it. Listen, this morning, I looked at my hair this morning because yesterday I cut my hair down because my hair had been falling out the last 2 months. It had just been falling out really bad by handfuls, by wads. And finally I said, I'm going to have the advantage over this situation because the next fall is going to be on me, because I'm going to take control. Instead of watching it fall out little piece by or patch by patch, I chose to go ahead and cut my hair into a style that I knew I would love. You hear me? I arranged it to fit me and not for circumstances to fit. Circumstances cannot take you over if you don't allow it to. Now, I could have chose to sit back and cry about my hair falling out, or I could choose to restack those cards and get up, get some moisturizer and call it the big chop and just go on and chop the rest of it off. And that's how you have to be in life. When you know things aren't going right, even if it does hurt a little bit, you have to get on up and stack those cards in your favor. In order to have the advantage, you got to know what you're stacking. So I would say this to those of you that are out there that have been dealing with jobs, hardships in life. You know what you have to do to get up. You know what you have to do to change your pattern. You know that if you're not a morning person, you have to become a morning person. You have to learn how to do things differently until something works for you. And something will work for you. When I looked at my hair, I said, I'm still beautiful, whether I got a head full or a little bit. And as a matter of fact, it's even easier to maintain by being short. So, you look at the things that's going on in your life. Look at the people, the circle that you're around. Who can you benefit from leaving? There's just some people that's in your life that is the reason why you feel like you don't have the advantage, like you don't have that control that you need because of the people that you have hanging around in your life. And I got to admit, there are some narcissists out here in our lives. There are some manipulative people that are out here. And the more you choose to be up under someone like that, the more control that they have over you. And that is their goal, to have control over you. The more they will convince you that your circumstances come to break you down. And you will start to believe that my circumstances are wiping me out, taking me out. When only... In fact, this trials and errors come to make you stronger, come to make you wiser and better. And also, it puts action. It puts you to work. Whenever you make a mistake, whenever you're in a trial season, it puts your faith to work, and it puts you to work. Faith without actions is dead. I'll always say that, y'all. Y'all know that. But I'm just trying to tell you, find out that pattern that's holding your cards up. Because once you begin to shuffle the deck, you will see that man or woman that left you behind, that tried to hold you down, saying you weren't going to amount to anything, you will see 3 months from now, 1 year from now, you will see and be thankful that you made the choice to get out when you did. You will be thankful that you made the choice to take the advantage that you had over you, which is knowledge. And the control that you have over you to get out of bad relationships and bad jobs. You will be thankful that you did. 6 months from now, 3 months from now, you will see a brand new you once you take the initiative step forward instead of trying to stay where it's comfortable. Now, is it comfortable going forward? Of course not, because you don't know what's out there. But again, you hold the odds. You can change the odds to be in your favor, even in health conditions. If you know that you're going through a hard, long battle of something, listen, the cards are in your hand. You can choose to go through positive and be happy despite what's going on, or you can choose to go through miserable. I chose to go through my ordeal positive. And the thing that I'm dealing with is a thing that most women deal with, and most African American women deal with, which is the low vitamin D deficiency. Now, instead of letting this have me like that, I'm doing all I can to prevent, anything else from messing up on my body, and also I am taking control of the situation by taking my therapy doses, by eating the right foods, by getting up, exercising. I'm taking the right steps toward my freedom and overcoming this because I have the advantage, because I have knowledge of it. That's why I'm able to get up and talk about it, because I have knowledge of it. I'm able to take the cards that life has given me and go for the gamble. What is the gamble? Well, the gamble is when I say I'm going to stack these cards in a way that whether I succeed or not, I'm still content. I know it sounds crazy, right? But I'm still going to be content regardless of what goes on in my life. And I'm not going to stop learning. I'm not going to stop moving. This is a saying my dad always told me, and I didn't believe him until it happened. He always said, when I stop moving, I will be dead. And I was like, what? And guess what? My dad lived to be 88 years old, and when he stopped moving was when he absolutely could not do no more in life. When he could not feed himself, when he could not wash himself, when he was in his transition, he even still tried to move then. So listen, don't give up today just because you feel like people have the advantage over you. They never have the advantage over you. They think they do. It's all in how you view it and how you choose to go about it. If you choose to give away your power, yeah, they do. But if you choose to keep your power by knowing who you are, whose child you are. You are a child of God. You are from the Most High. What is your purpose? By knowing your purpose here on earth. And how do you know your purpose? Well, find your passion. What's the one thing that you can do whether you're paid or not paid? That's your passion. The one thing you love, whether you fail at it miserably or you are great at it. You find that moment that always makes you happy. I see musicians, whenever they feel bad, they always go to the shed and they start playing music because that's where their passion is. That's where they feel their greatest strength is. What is your greatest strength on today? Is it prayer? What is your greatest strength? What's the one area in life that you know that once you get hold of that area, that no matter what you're going through, it just takes away everything and rebuilds you, rejuvenates you. It gives you strength. It renews your mind. And it gives you the sense of, I am somebody. Whenever you get these things down in you, then you will know how to go forward and use your advantage over the enemy. The enemy is Satan, y'all. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. We all know that. But we just don't never know when he's coming and how he's coming and who he's coming through. But what you can do is already have on that armor of God to protect you during your toughest trials and tribulations. Even if you are a person that is homeless, but you got a cell phone and you're hearing this message, you can pick up today right where you are and just start walking towards something greater. You can create a business some type of way, even if it starts off small. You know why? Because you have the advantage. You know what you are good at. You know exactly what you're good at doing. And that's what you want to start working with, the things that you know you have strengths in. You have the strengths in it. So you have the right to change the odds to be in your favor. God is an awesome God, and he gave us all talents and skills. And I promise you, once you start operating in your talent, he'll give you more talents and more talents. I didn't just become a radio announcer overnight. I took the leap of faith. I started doing one thing. I started working underneath people. I was doing graphic designing for people. I was already doing manager work for people. And most of the time, guess what? I didn't get paid for it. But eventually, because I got good at what I was doing, I started getting paid for it. So remember, you have the advantage over your life, your career, your relationship, and your health. Don't let nothing or nobody tell you what you cannot do. When they start putting those negatives out, this is what you do. You get up and you go and find your positive self and walk in the positive moments of things. Walk in the positive moments, and remember, you are not your circumstances. Good things happen to everybody. Listen, good things happen to everybody. And so do bad things. Bad things happen to everybody. You will not be stuck in a season unless you choose to. With every season that you're in, it has to pass eventually. It has a time limit on it. So the only way you're going to be miserable in your season is if you choose to sit there and be miserable and don't take the advantage that you have, which is the power to get up. You have activities in your limbs. If you don't do nothing but get up early in the morning and make your bed, you've done something to change your day. If you don't do nothing but get up and finally fix breakfast for the first time in the morning, you have done something to take the power over your day, to take advantage over your day, to give you strength. You know the things that you need to do. You know the things that need to be changed. You know the patterns in your life that you have been used to, that you have to break in order to get to the new places in your life. You know it. No one has to tell you. You know the things that trigger you to go out and drink. You know the things that trigger you to stay in bed, whether it's laziness or maybe it may be a sickness or illness. You know these things. You know the jobs that you're not going to stay on because you know before you apply that that's not in your style. But how can you overcome that? You can overcome it by saying it may not